Hey guys,
Which
welcome back to the Insider Outsider podcast. Today we're going to go nonchalant with your boy Rav and your boy Ahmed. So Ahmed obviously is looking real tired. He's looking like a dad cop after not eating because of fasting. Or you might have already ate. I don't know how early Ahmed wakes up. But yeah, so today guys, we're going to be talking a little bit about finances, talk about the world economy in general, talk about why you should be afraid, why you should not be afraid, is what's going to happen in the near future, right? And here's the truthful answer, right? Nobody knows. But guess what, Ahmed? There are simple truths in every single category because there are always stuff that you can do to yield the highest product. Now Ahmed in the last few days has been working really hard on our newest business, which is called Nebulous X Gaming, and it's going to be a gaming company and a productivity company. We're breaking out two apps. Now you're probably like, productivity and gaming, that seems like polar opposite spectrums, right? Wrong, guys, wrong. I'll tell you why. Because the smartest people in the world, they game a lot. And it's funny enough how much they game, right? Because you need a sort of vice. And Ahmed, I've noticed something. Do you want to smoke, or do you want to do different types of drugs? When you ask, is that your type of your vice or alcohol? All of a sudden, gaming doesn't seem as bad as it is, right? Being able to socialize with people and being able to engage your brain, engage your hands, and you're still sweating, like you're still playing fun games. I think is a pretty good vice. Now, here's the thing: why are we doing this? Because we are getting ourselves ready for the next stage in whatever this economy cycle is going to be, and that stage is just continue to develop your character, develop new skills, and continue to learn, guys. Nothing has changed. All right, it's very sad that there's a war right now, and many people are going to die from every side. So best of luck to every single person. But hopefully, it's not going to be too long, and hopefully, this oil issue will not be a big issue. But even like the issue with oil, you won't make money right now trying to become a day trader in oil or trying to do a commodity trading strategy like this and this and this. You're very unlikely to do this. But you know who is going to be likely to make money is, as the S&P is falling, you're buying. As Bitcoin is falling, you're buying. Obviously, not financial advice. I'm just saying in general. But if you had a reason to do something, let's say 6 days ago, 6 years ago, 6 decades ago, then the same applies today. It's, don't forget the noise. If you're not paying attention to the noise, what are you looking around you? For Ahmed, in your life, can I ask you a question? What has changed since the war has started? Other than your wallet hurting every time you go to the gas pump.
I mean that is the you're only gonna notice what's
In front of you.
affecting you, but in general, no, nothing's really changed other than um, there's probably some more tension
Yeah, a
with
lot
the
more attention, right?
geopolitics that I pay attention to. But the outlook that the younger generation should take is advice that I like to mention every now and then when I talked about these conversations. It's stay on the bleeding edge of technology.
Ahmed, and I could not have said that better. So, guys, why is Ahmed saying technology? Because guys, that's literally the best option to invest in. You're literally investing in the future. Me and Ahmed went question for question yesterday and answer to answer over a good night call that was supposed to last 5 minutes and ended up an hour. And me and Ahmed were talking about the side effects of Ozempic. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And the true answer is it's somewhere in the middle, right? You loved seeing technology where, like, literally a decade ago, you say, "Oh, you can't take a magic pill to lose weight," and now everyone's gonna take a magic pill to lose weight, right? Ahmed, can you wait? What happens when you get the magic pill to grow muscle randomly? You need bigger traps. You take the trap
Um,
pill.
I've been watching. I think Mike Israetel. I'm not sure,
Yeah, yeah.
but there's a lot of stuff coming up because of AI. AI has revolutionized not only technology but spaces that you know so many spaces simultaneously
Mm-hmm,
that you'd be overstimulated with how much information
mm-hmm.
you could find that has been impacted by AI.
Overstimulated.
But within the context provided, the one you talked
Mm-hmm.
right now about, there's one that basically gives everyone the Hercules gene. Now, if you've heard of the Hercules gene, you know what the Hercules Rav, if you heard of the Hercules
Yeah,
gene and
it's when
what that is.
I forgot what it's called, myostatin or something like that. Again, this is just something I've heard a long time ago. Myostatin or something has a deficiency, so your body can continue to produce muscle without having kind of limitations.
So basically, Eddie Hall has this gene, and
Mm-hmm.
myostatin is exactly what you said. Myostatin inhibits the growth of muscle, skeletal muscle, and the reason that you would want this inhibition within if you were to interpret this through natural law suggests that God created things within parameters that are functional.
Mm-hmm.
So like the reason that you shouldn't have this, the reason that we have myostatin is that the people that do have this myostatin deficiency develop difficulty with their heart pumping blood to the muscles.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you tell me, bro, like you want to put on infinite muscle, you want to inhibit
Yeah,
your
yeah,
myostatin. I'm like, yeah, go for it, 100%. But the truth of the matter is, it's going to reduce your lifespan
yeah.
because your heart has to pump harder. The reason it's in place is because I think that um, the center, or like the middle between order and chaos, is the highest state of efficiency.
Mhm. You know, Ahmed, the
I
good
don't
thing.
I don't I don't think I'm expressing it really well, but
No, no,
what
no.
do you
I
think,
think
bro?
you're expressing very well. The myostatin good one's a good idea, right? So, like we're saying, we're not talking this podcast about myostatin, but what Ahmed is
Yeah.
bringing the attention forward is, you know, there is a way. We know how the mechanism of muscle is made. We know the mechanism of how muscle is limited. We know genetic variations, and we also have the ability to control genetic variations. So, guys, when you guys are thinking, oh, you know, you're gonna have to go to maybe the gym business is gonna be out of business in the next couple of years. You never know, right? Now, I don't think that's the case because I think people always like working out, just how people like running, people like doing this. Because I don't
Mhm.
think a pill is the answer, right? There's a lot of benefits to working out that do not come just by gaining muscle or the lack of muscle. But guys, the idea is technology is fantastic. And if you're bullish on technology, then you're bullish on humanity continuing to grow, right? And it's not just AI. AI is the current trend. But there's many other things coming in the near future with the different types of energies, different types of ways for things to function. And the AI is just a convenient bottlehead for us to look at this moment. But there are definitely different types of renaissances that can happen. And I like using that word renaissances because I feel fancy. But no, it's because I like that the oil renaissance or the
It,
assembly
it's
renaissance, right?
really, honestly, renaissance is an appropriate word.
Uh-huh.
It really is a renaissance of sorts, 100%.
Yeah, but guys, you're none. I promise you one thing. Okay, Donald Trump is not watching this podcast, nor is Mark Carney. All right. One day I hope, but listen, today I know he's not. So since no one of big fact is gonna be watching our podcast, me and Ahmed's influence on what we're able to do is gonna be very little. So we have to really precisely decide right now what is the best use of our time. And guys, like I told you,
Yeah.
it literally is investing. And in investing, people just do not understand. But do you know how optimistic that this last year has made me? There's been so many wars. There's been many issues coming in a few ways. Even COVID was a huge thing, right? But in the last 7 years, starting from my investment journey, I have just got bullish on humanity. I absolutely love the enduringness that humanity can do. The wrong thing can happen, and we still continue to grow out of it. And that is also technology. Technology is going to get better. It's going to get faster, and people, I do believe, will have the abundance of technology. I'll tell you this. Now, I don't even know if this is like true or not. All right, I'm going to tell you this. I today had an X-ray. Okay, your boy Rav had an X-ray today for his knee, and so back in the day. If I remember correctly, I haven't had an X-ray in a long time, but I remember you had to remove like the clothing around the body where you need to get the X-ray done. If I'm not mistaken, right? I believe I was in these robes before, like the actual doctor robes, and then they're taking me. It could also been because I was a kid, but today, like I was expected to have to take off my pants, so I wore some nice shorts underneath, you know. But they just did it right over. They're like, yeah, you don't want to take anything, quick and easy, and it was fast as hell. But like this is technology, man. I'm looking at this one machine that's randomly giving me a whole extra how my leg looks, right? And AI just coming into that and really gonna help its efficiency, and Starlink just making internet in space so you're not going to have those wireless disconnections when you're hiking. Like, bro, technology is getting better and better. And so, guys, like, again, I don't want to do, Ahmed's like, today we should plan out this pod. I'm like, good idea. And then 2 minutes into it, I said, nah, let's go nonchalant. Because the truth is, the reason why we make these podcasts when we barely get any viewership. By the way, our viewership is growing, Ahmed. It is growing. I was looking at the back end metrics. Okay, every month we're gaining 3 to 5 subscribers. I wouldn't know that out of us do not know, but we're also losing 3 to 5 too. Okay, so we're kind of equilibrium. But I think the reason why we're losing subscribers is because people in the past who have subscribed for whatever reason, or friends, they're gonna unsubscribe because they're gonna be like, why am I subscribed to this random channel? But we're gonna get retained viewership who is actually interested in what we have to talk about. And guys, I'll tell you the truth being, I've seen this game 100 times in books that I've read, in what I have visualized in my head, and that's, if you're bullish on technology, you're bullish on the reason to win. And I would not expect anything differently. I just took a big bet on Amazon. Me and Ahmed, every single week here, we talk about the stocks that we're excited for, the technologies we're excited
Yes.
for. Today, look, this is why I love talking to Ahmed, okay? I call Ahmed and I'm like, hey, man, I'm driving the car and I'm like, have you heard Elon Musk is bringing in X money? And he's like, I heard about it already, buddy. I already know the bank that he's partnering with. I'm like, see, this is why I love Ahmed, because he and me already are doing the exact same thing. We see some news, we fact check it, we make sure it's legit, and then we talk about it, right? But speaking, getting onto that portion, let's get out of the bullish of technology. Sir, what are you thinking about Mr. Elon Musk's X money? Are you excited? Are you gonna transfer all your money into X money coin or whatever the hell he makes?
I think that if you want to stay ahead, you have to be preparing 2 years in advance,
Mm-hmm.
and paying attention to Elon Musk is essential because Elon Musk has become more. He's gradually and now exponential. He's reached the exponential portion of his growth, where his influence has become more involved in the U.S. government, even with Doge Department of Efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So paying attention to big movers and whales, like within the crypto space, we call them whales, or even outside the context of crypto, just watching industries. Early adopters are the ones that benefit, and we
Mm-hmm.
always want to be early adopters. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I like the collaboration between me and Rav because we kind of we have two different perceptions on reality, and I've realized that after watching being around Rav, talking to Rav, and trying to understand his personality and why he's been able to achieve what he's achieved, and then observing the psychology of people that have been within the context of pushing the edge of technological advancement. They have this thing where they're highly optimistic,
Mm-hmm.
and Rav said that essentially he's very optimistic about where humanity's going. He talked about SpaceX, basically like satellites, the expansion of the internet, um, the increased streamlinedness of the X races. Like basically, AI is going to refine everything, and the way that you should look at this is an exponential. It's not something. It's not like, oh, it got +1 better. It refined. It basically sharpened the iron. Um, and it's been able to do it recursively, which
Mm-hmm.
is what's scary about
And
AI.
trust us,
Is
guys, we use AI a lot, and we know how stupid it can be. But we also see the benefits that nothing else can comprehend.
I want you to conceptualize this. Let's say you're throwing a heavy implement of metal, and we're gonna put a stick and a rope. The longer the rope, let's say we increase the rope by 1 inch. How much further with the same force would you get the projectile?
Oh, yeah, you asked me this
Every
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
what would happen as we add tiny increments of, let's say, 1 inch of more length and length and
yeah,
length?
well, the weight would eventually come to where the stick cannot support it, so you got to put more support on the stick.
Yeah, you'd reach the bottleneck.
Yeah, yeah,
But up until you reach the bottleneck, you're gonna get an exponential change. You're not gonna grow up. You're not gonna grow by +1 meters on the projectile's distance. You're gonna grow by
yeah. You need to
+20.
compound it. You need substantial difference. How do you think
And the
this
reason
relates
you're
to?
optimistic,
How do you think
the
this?
reason,
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, exactly. How does it relate? It's an analogy.
Uh-huh.
Um, for you to understand and comprehend the direction of AI, you need specialist advice, and the specialists, like we've talked about in prior podcasts, have underestimated the trajectory by not a like +2%, by a factor of like 3x fold. So Rav is highly optimistic, super optimistic, except I'm pessimistic. And I feel like when you have devil's advocate, I play devil's advocate a lot, and you have a highly optimistic Rav, you kind of get a refined expression of information,
Mm-hmm.
a medium of some sort, an efficient medium. And most of the time, we end up agreeing on something in the middle.
Yeah.
Where
I guess that's the lesson. Okay, what
Yeah.
context do you think this kind of refers to in Elon Musk X situation with his X money? How do you think
what I,
that's going to be used?
the to just skewer this whole conversation, to steer the conversation back on track. The whole reason I've brought up all these expressions is when you're observing X money, you're gonna have to know what the CEO is doing. What is the ethos? What is he? How does he operate? And the one pattern that I noticed within Rav's optimism that I don't have, and the people that I've watched push the bleeding edge of technology, is that they are almost hard-headedly optimistic. Like the people that were manufacturing. The reason I'm saying this is the people that were manufacturing the chips were told no over and over again that you cannot reduce the size of the chip. You cannot push this barrier. There's a law. There's a guy before you who's super smart, made this law, and you're not allowed. You're not allowed to transcend this. But these people that come and push this barrier beyond, push humanity forth, they go against the odds. They're highly optimistic. They're not like me, pessimistic. They possess characteristics of optimism. And so, to refine the message that Rav described, is you have to be, although you're pessimistic, although you're in a frame of mind that this is within a reasonable man's or reasonable woman's perspective is impossible, you have to completely override your logic and say optimism is going to win because it always does. And Elon Musk has been time and time again at the last dollar, the last dime, the last nickel, maybe the penny. But like, what I'm trying to get at is he got bailed out by NASA at a certain point. This man has basically never truly felt, that he was invincible until now. And he's made a bold claim. He's built up this huge, um, SpaceX, $700 trillion of assets, and now he's going after. It's exactly word for word what he said, and this is exactly what I mean to express. Is he possesses this characteristic that he's going to do the impossible, and somehow, some way, he does. And I need you to understand that when he says he's going after half of the world's money supply, like he expects X to cover half of the world's currency transactions on X payments. So the viewer should not take this lightly, in my opinion. I'd like to hear what Raph thinks. Is that possible within Elon Musk's? Is it within Elon Musk's capacity?
Oh man, Elon Musk is a guy, all right. So we've all talked about the good and bad with our boy, and I talk about how much he inspires me and motivates me to do much things in my life. So is it possible, Ahmed? I'm gonna use a quote from Elon Musk himself. Okay, all right. If physics do not sorry, now I already lost the quote. So it's a great start to it. If physics is not the bottleneck, then anything is feasible, right? Nothing is impossible as long as physics allows it to do so, if the laws of physics demand it. Now, so is it feasible? Anything's feasible. And if we have to bet on one CEO, Elon Musk is that CEO that you want to bet on, where you're like, yeah, buddy, if you want to take the one in big shots, he's got to take. So how I didn't look into it too much, guys. I just saw his X pretty much announcement, and then that's it. And then me and Ahmed talked about it for like 5 minutes. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a crypto. I'm not sure if it's going to be real money, where it's just like a PayPal type of idea. The one thing I do know is he kind of did want to turn PayPal into WeChat of the Western world versus in China how it's WeChat, right? But who knows? This could actually overtake up WeChat as well, right? Because how much do you know about the guy who owns who's like the owner of WeChat? Because it is a dude. He's
Tencent.
yeah.
Tencent's a big company.
So it's like the Tencent guy, right? I've read the story of how Tencent was created and everything, and the dude's very unknown. He doesn't want to be known. Him and his wife don't not really want to be known, right? They really like to honor their privacy. Versus somebody like Elon Musk, who's able to easily promote his ability for likable people to follow stuff. Because one thing I'll tell you guys, I never use Twitter. I never ever have used Twitter. Never saw the need to join it. My friends were not on Twitter. I didn't want to join it. And then I downloaded X after Elon Musk bought it, just because I wanted to check it out and see what was going on with it, right? And to be honest, I've seen so many people use X now, and it might just be the demographic of people that I'm going with now, but the amount of people that I see using it now compared to before is substantially higher. Now, do those translate to numbers yet? I'm not too sure, right? But having the option from Mark Zuckerberg, or now finally Elon Musk, having two different type of social media apps, or empires, it's quite a bit different. But I don't think Elon Musk just wants to go for some freedom of speech, because I do believe that it was a mistake on his end to buy X. Not that it was a mistake, but that he thought of it as a mistake, as he just got in over his head. And then he's like, why the hell am I even buying this? It doesn't even make sense. But then he added on to his journey of how he wanted to control things, right? Because in that book, the Isaac book, where he was talking about Elon Musk, he's like, why did I even do this? Because then first Twitter didn't want him to buy, then Twitter was like, oh, now we're going to force you to buy from contract, right? And it just seemed like such a headache that could have been avoided. And so maybe he wanted it, maybe he didn't, but obviously that helped out with the election. That his support for Donald Trump in that election definitely did help. So how is that going to translate? At this moment, no one knows, right? But I do believe if he has the app, he may as well utilize it to his full potential. And I believe the only potential that he sees is creating a WeChat type alternative. And guys, to be fair, the only time like a monopolistic company like WeChat it will succeed in the US is going to be while Donald Trump is president. I do not believe any other president is going to allow a monopoly like him to. So just imagine, PayPal right now is on the crisp of kind of dying. I'm not even lying about that. The numbers of PayPal are not looking too great, and a lot of people have a lot of negative affiliation with PayPal because there's nothing really that PayPal does anymore. Everything online can be done through a credit card.
Right now, it's just
And there's many
Web
payment
2
companies, right? There's many payment companies, but PayPal was around in those days where you need to send money to here, or like you're trying to facilitate a transaction.
Yeah.
But now every single person has a terminal device. It's not hard to get a terminal device, right? So you don't need a PayPal. But so then what is X going to be used for, right? Maybe it'll be like an e-transfer type of thing in Canada. But what if Elon Musk makes it where he fully says, hey, international moving money is free. Just send it to one person on one person's account, just like Bitcoin does, just like how these cryptos do. You don't need a third party random person from the bank to be able to facilitate his charges to go through, right? It's instantaneously, right? So who knows if it's like that, right? Because that's one good thing with PayPal. You can pretty much instantly send money.
I have a question.
Ask away.
I love the topic you're mentioning. Do you trust or distrust the government in context to the way that banking functions as of today in the contemporary world?
I think people always take like the odd
Point. All I'm getting you to. Sorry to cut you off.
yeah.
I need you to frame this in context, and this is important, of Bitcoin.
So very valid point, right? Bitcoin, where it's not controlled by one entity, and then you have the government that is pretty much everything is controlled by one entity. From where it goes with reach, the thing is, can you 100% trust anyone? Like even Ahmed, like if you hear a nasty rumor about me, like some party you might be like, oh, is that true? Is that not true? Right? The thing is, like, what can you truthfully 100% trust? I can't even trust that this house is full of air. Like we call it air, but whatever the hell it is, right? So
You're very. I need you to. So
I'm very off what you're probably
you're
trying to say. I'm
you're
being very.
describing someone. Basically, they would look for you.
Mhm.
You're someone that what you just described as a paranoid state
Yeah,
of thought.
but even Bitcoin, like you
Right?
can't trust.
Would you agree?
Like
Would
Ahmed,
you
how
agree?
can you trust Bitcoin? How can you trust Bitcoin?
Is that a paranoid state of thinking?
That is paranoid
Right.
state, but that's why I say I don't do it. So that's what I'm trying.
Guess what the intelligence agencies hire? Who do they hire, personality type
Yeah.
wise? Do they hire the average, or do they hire the paranoid? Who would you hire if you were within, like, let's say, the FBI or MI6,
Well, you want paranoid
KGB?
people, but you don't want people asking questions, right? You don't want people. You want people that do their job. They don't. They're not going to give you problems, right?
Well, you could. There's a lot of ways you can get someone to follow instructions.
Let me say on one thing on it, just prior. So when it comes to trust, because I believe you're relating this to are you going to trust Elon Musk's social media empire X to manage your money or to facilitate your transactions versus the government? Is that kind of what you're going with?
When you have so I believe that they're liars. I am a pessimist.
Who is the liars? Everybody.
The portrayed the currently portrayed elite, and it's an interesting thesis, but I will say that it's not confirmed until it's confirmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to hear more details? Because I think
Yes.
I may be a little vague. Donald Trump is literally said that he's going to bring a golden age to America, and I think that he has done a horrible job of executing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
50-50. Again, like I'm a very person who's like, you have to see for 4 years out for us to see a long term at ramifications of what he's doing. You can't just see in a year to year context.
I mean that is fair. You can't really have high expectations of one individual
Mm-hmm.
to control global social. Even within the context of having the world's strongest army, you're not going to be. You can't really judge him. But here's the thing: you can when you have blood on his fingers, from the files that were disclosed.
Mm-hmm.
And to go back to answering my own damn question. So if I let me reframe this. How do you get someone to follow if they're paranoid? How do you get them to follow
Yeah.
instruction? How do you
You,
keep them under your thumb?
you make them engaged. You kind of support the theory.
You blackmail them.
Okay, yeah, that works. That could work for
Yeah.
anyone pretty much. Okay.
So there's a book before the Epstein files came out. We were literally talking. I was talking about this book. I'm like, please, viewers, you guys need to watch this. But then naturally, the information reached the public. It's called One Nation Under Blackmail, and it described Donald Trump's interconnectedness within the elite and powerful. People that you don't see are actually more in control of people that you do see. Would you agree or disagree?
I disagree. Me and you had the conversation, but
You
I'd love for your point to be out there.
so Do you think that being a president would put you at an advantage or disadvantage when it comes to developing power,
A lot of
intrinsic
advantage.
power?
A lot of advantage.
I just, I
I know you
disagree.
disagree, but okay, we'll put our aside the fight. Let's say let's for purpose of argument, let's say yours is correct, right? I like your opinion
Yeah.
now today.
Okay, I like that train of thought. But what I'm trying to say is, when you are the emperor, the bullseye's on your head.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are the person that is on the side of the emperor, let's say like the Chinese when the Chinese emperor used to be paranoid of getting assassinated. That's the context I'm providing.
Okay.
the the uh, the people that sit in the really old. There's a bunch of old people that come and talk to the emperor. They're a council.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are, I think, in a safer position than the king. That's the whole argument there. And Donald Trump, much like JFK, you're at high risk of being shot in the ear. Oh no.
Yeah, it's already happened, right?
And you're being absolutely embarrassed in front of the public about what you've done on a certain island with a
Mm-hmm.
certain someone that's known to be involved in another country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's plenty of evidence within the book. I don't need to go do book summary, but um, when Elon Musk did the Heil Hitler, the Heil Hitler thing.
You just did it too, buddy.
Yeah, but I don't. We're doing this. We're doing this podcast from the soul.
Yeah.
This is not. I don't mean to.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a complete joke. I understand. You just do for demonstration. But okay, continue.
people online can misunderstand anything, bro. You could literally just post and they'll misunderstand it. But I'm not pro anything here.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't care. The stuff is irrelevant. But one of the guys that is within the cabinet of Donald Trump is also a heavy Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
You know about him?
Who?
I forget his name, but there's a dude that has like a swastika tattoo, I think.
Like
But
100%, or it's thought of so.
100%, like, he's publicly expressed this.
All right. Again,
Which is
I'm not
which is
too sure
funny.
about any of this. I haven't heard this before, but
Yeah,
okay.
what I'm theorizing here is that these guys have a way to portray themselves publicly,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have a way of portraying themselves in private. That's their real personality, their real identity
Mm-hmm.
is not expressed to the public. And I think Elon Musk has expressed interest in going to that island a little too much, and I'm less likely to trust someone, especially within that kind of
All right.
$700
So
trillion dollar range.
if I can say, yeah, 800 billion almost. So if I could summarize, you're pretty much just like, again, from just short context, bringing up all this conversation. He just saying there's been many things that have led him to be like, okay, he'd be iffy on payment systems going through Elon, where if you control the payments first, then payment first, like, it would be problematic. Is that what you're saying?
I think that him rubbing shoulders with Trump and Peter Thiel
Mm-hmm.
is something we need to all pay attention to.
Mm-hmm. Do you like Peter Thiel?
So I, you should watch. You know what? I don't. My opinion is irrelevant. You guys should go watch the podcast where he expresses whether or not he thinks human life is valuable. So,
Uh,
um,
from what I've
liking,
seen about
disliking,
Peter Thiel, so again,
different.
I'm not here to defend or say good things about Peter Thiel. All I know is he's got a lot of wins, so he's a very big name in business and investing. So he was part of the PayPal mafia, right? Like infamous group at this moment in time. And so,
Yeah.
but he's hit a lot of wins. And so, he's done fantastic in that portion of his life. But we'll go into depth about this because we're about to hit the 30-minute mark. But I'll say
Oh,
this. I think there are so many people who are entering in payment spaces. When you got Stripe, we got so many different networks.
Trump himself.
Yeah, Trump and Trump stuff. But there's so many different networks to do
Yeah.
facilitations of money, and this is where something like crypto does have an extra benefit. Where if the crypto is not owned by one organization like Bitcoin, that's where the benefit comes to, right? Because now you're not basing it off of somebody you know. The problem with that is though you're still basing it off of somebody you don't know, like Satoshi. You don't know who Satoshi is, right?
You're answering the question, yes, but
Yeah.
I need you to assess a data set prior. So Epstein was known to actually have hired 5 developers to develop Bitcoin.
Yeah, but again, this is all I've seen this, but it's a theory. This is not a
If
realist.
you read
Yeah,
the files, and I've read those particular files, they're very compelling.
yeah. But
But yeah,
again,
sure.
but the files
Let's
is assumption of what somebody is saying, right? Rather than somebody is doing. You know how many people have come out and said they know Satoshi, right? That's until you see credit. Like again, this is where me and Ahmed will differ in this person. This is where I'm irrational and Ahmed's more irrational. But again, irrationality when it comes to conspiracy theories has been proven wrong. Like some theories have definitely right, some are definitely wrong, right?
Yeah, like
But if we're looking at this in a point blank degree, until I see full confidence in something, I'm not very likely to believe it. I'm very conservative in this way of thinking, where to me, it's just if you do the same thing over and over again, it will still do good. So I'm gonna give you my opinion on it, and then we'll end up the pod, and then we will go into details about
you're
this.
right. You're
Yeah, yeah.
it's just,
But yeah,
thinking
we can definitely talk about some
more than
invest.
language.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think X Money does not make a difference. I think it's great if he creates a WeChat type of organization, but that's going to
Yeah.
benefit Elon Musk's businesses incredibly well. So
How are you going to build this? How are you going to build within the context of the future in regards to X? How are you going to frontline?
Yeah,
How are you going
it's
to
his.
basically
You buy the stock, but you buy stock pre IPO and
X?
then you sell after. Yeah, yeah. That's
X
I truly think that's the only way to in order to win out of the situation, right? Because WeChat is it's fantastic, right? If you own a lot of WeChat stock, then you by default like are really well off in the terms of the economy over there in China, right? Because again, it's a
Mhm.
social media platform, but it's also a payment platform, it's also a tax platform, right? It's every single thing that you can be doing. And so somebody having that power is incredible, right? Now if you have to verse that power, right, if you're Mark Zuckerberg, this is a very scary time for you, because now you just get your competition has a complete other.
I
I
don't
don't know
think
if
I wouldn't consider Mark Zuckerberg in the race at all.
yeah, exactly. And but I'll tell you why this is a big concern for somebody like Mark Zuckerberg, in my opinion,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Mark Zuckerberg, I know his relationship with Donald Trump is a lot less than somebody like Elon Musk, right? So for
mm.
Mark Zuckerberg, as he can be under scrutiny a lot, somebody like Elon Musk can bypass that because of his relationship with Donald Trump. And if that happens, right, there's a very big chance that we might have WeChat of the USA, right? And that
I
could be
think it's the
X.
other way around. I genuinely think that the beneficiary of the relationship is rather than Elon, for sure.
All right, perfect. Let's
That's
end the call for today,
that's theory.
guys. Yeah, we will
Yeah.
definitely be doing another
But
pod soon, guys.
finish off with what you're saying about Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, it's just simple. Like the point I'm saying is Mark
Mm.
Zuckerberg, he has a media empire, right? And if Elon Musk connects more and more people to use X and on a daily basis, then then you're stopped. I don't even know who owns Snapchat at this point, right? Like Snapchat, in my opinion, is already dead compared to these two. But
I think Facebook should own.
I don't think Facebook
Facebook owns
owns Snapchat.
Instagram, and Facebook
Yeah,
might own.
they own
Yeah.
WeChat as
And then
well. Not WeChat, sorry.
you have
They own
Twitch.
what's WhatsApp, WhatsApp. But what I want to say is just that portion, right? Again, there's only the thing is
You've heard of
in life.
you've heard of Kick, right?
Huh?
Kick.
What?
There's Kick and Twitch.
Yeah,
Twitch and Kick.
yeah. But like again, those are very small players compared to the big social media giants, right? But like my whole purpose is this. My whole person is this. There's only 24 hours in a day, and if people are sleeping, eating, working, then there's only a certain amount of minutes that people have on eyeballs. And if you can attract those eyeballs to your platform, you're the one going to win. You cannot have a
Yes.
limited minutes, and so that's where the competition begins for social media companies like Meta and like
So
X.
according to Bedrock Survival, like if you have currency and banking tied to a social media app, you're gonna be the most eyeballs. That's not what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if people are only going to be using X for everything, like there's this I was reading an article on why WeChat's so effective in over there in China, And obviously, it's packed up by the government now. But WeChat, the reason why it's so successful is you don't have to exit the application to do anything. Everything is done on the app. So it just makes it. Remember me and Ahmed, there's this other
Streamlined.
theory in shopping, yeah, streamline,
Yeah.
where now Amazon does one-click shop because the less buttons it takes you to click yes, the more the psychology says that you're gonna buy. Every time you click a button, the more chance there is that you're
We
gonna
did
say
talk
no.
about this.
Yeah,
It's quicker. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, guys, we're gonna finish off this conversation
The
now.
example of this
Yeah,
is
Ahmed,
like
we're
if
gonna
you
have
buy
to finish
something.
the conversation, buddy. You're the one who told me that we got to time limit this.
That's true.
All right, but guys,
Thank you guys for watching.
all right, have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, bye, guys.
Subscribe.